Previous weeks we'll just be taking questions from the room today. We'll have four different sections, live broadcast and then into a few embargoes. So if we're all ready, Mikel's ready, camera's ready in the back, all good, so kick off with the vibe from the Premier League.
Mikel, good afternoon and happy belated birthday. Firstly, how are the celebrations and how has the international break been for you?
Very good. A special birthday is a big number. I had the chance to spend some time with everybody here at the club, my friends, my family, so it was good.
And there's 10 games left to play now for Arsenal, coming into the final stretch of the campaign. Your team played Brentford B yesterday in a behind consoles friendly. What were you most pleased about aside from the result?
Well, the fact that we could get minutes and exposure to some of the players that haven't had the possibility to do that in recent weeks. Get the level, get the competition there. Playing between us is not the same, and we had the opportunity to do that yesterday, and it was good.
And next up is the game against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, and the reverse fixture was entertaining. It was a 2-2 draw, but it was a hard-fought draw, wasn't it, for Arsenal, leaving it late to get there?
Yeah, we scored right at the end, and it was a tough match. We had some really good periods where we struggled. We conceded 2 very poor goals in that game with simple giveaways that put the game into a really difficult position. And it's a team, especially at home as well, is doing really well. Patrick and the coaching staff, I think they're doing a great job, and we know how it is to play in that stadium.
And talking about the coaching staff and Patrick Vieira in particular, he was inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame during the international break. How deserved is that?
Well, a huge achievement. I think you have to be very special to be nominated to be there, and I think Patrick deserved it for what he brought to the England game, to what he did for Arsenal, and what he brought to English football.
And Arsenal are currently sitting in 4th place. Will you speak to your team about the running? What will your message be to the players going into these final 10 games?
I would have them all today, so just try to refocus them. Obviously, when they go in international duties, they all the time ask to be doing different things, different roles, different kind of pressure. For some of them, there was the first international, so emotionally as well, it's very draining. And make sure everybody's fine and look for the challenge that we have ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, Guy. Gail from Sky.
Good afternoon. And can I just ask you first about the fitness of Saka and Ramsdale? Is Saka COVID-free and has he had any effects?
Bukayo is feeling good. He's training today, hopefully, if he's still feeling as he was yesterday. And Aaron, it's a doubt. Still feeling not great. He hasn't trained yet, so we don't know what he will be able to do on Monday.
You hoped he would be available, didn't you, after the international break? So what sort of time frame are you looking at?
Well, he wanted to play against Villa, but it was a significant injury and he had to take his time, and the physios are doing everything they can to make him available, but we will see in the next few days when he starts to do more real training.
You've obviously had a lot of players away, a lot with really good performances. As you said, some got their first caps at Martinelli and others sort of played their parts and did well. What's it been like getting them all back? I mean, it must help you. Most of them will be on a bit of a high, I guess, particularly Martinelli.
Well, I think the majority of them, they had some really good experiences, some really good performances. They scored some important goals as well. Really sad for Mo Elneny, because the second time that it happened, something which emotionally means a lot to him. So I'm sure the team will be here ready to help him.
We're going to talk about Arsenal in a bit downstairs, but I just wanted to ask you about one of the other stories around today, the idea of 5 subs. What's your preferences and why as to whether or not you'd like to see it?
Well, I'm glad that at the end we have unified the criteria for the whole Europe, and is now how we do it, how we manage it. There will be some changes because that gives you other opportunities, and I think the game would have some changes, tactically some changes. I think the most important thing is that you can manage much better the load of the players. Make sure we don't slow the game down too much. And I think it's good. It gives players the opportunity to be on the pitch, which is what they want to do.
What do you think the most significant change will be tactically then with it?
And the options that you are given to change the game, to refresh the game, to change in many different positions, something that you are always restricted to do, and probably the timing of when you are thinking about those subs, because when you have three, the last sub is always in the back of your mind. That if something happens and you do it too early, you can pay the consequences, so that gives you more flexibility.
Thanks, Gal. George from the BBC.
Hello, Mikel. I just wanted, is Tomiyasu back yet for Monday? Do you think he'll be fit?
I think it will be close. He's been training more and more. He has the boys now back, so he will be joining some sessions this week, and let's see how it is.
And that injury, that he shouldn't have been out that long, why was it longer than was planned? Why did it take a bit longer for him to recover?
Because he had a recurrent injury, but in the other calf, which was strange and difficult to predict, but he's been through a lot the last 2 years with all the COVID, the amount of games that he's played, the transition to a different league with the intensity is completely different. So we can find the right reasons and hopefully don't go through that situation again, because especially for him it's been tough.
I might be tempting fate, I don't know, but you're very good at defending corners. You still haven't conceded one throughout the season. So what's the magic of how that has unfolded for this?
Everything you do in attack, in defense is about the whole team. Every individual has a role, every unit has a role, and the team has to be with the right level of focus, aggression, understanding of what can happen, and try to avoid it.
But there must be some sort of coaching going on in terms of how, because it's a remarkable record not to concede so far.
Every phase of the game that we try to train it, to practice it, and to improve it to the highest level, and obviously the set pieces are key in modern football.
And can I just ask you, there was a lot made in the international break after the Villa game about some of Arsenal's celebrations, and I just wondered if you had a response to what some of the players said. Say Arsenal won the league.
I don't tell the players to celebrate or no. I think that's something that it comes right from them, and it's great when I see them hugging each other, touching each other, enjoying each other, celebrating with the fans that they made a long trip to be with us at 12:30 kickoff, and show the gratitude for them to be supportive. For me, it's great.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? When you win, that's the best feeling.
Absolutely, this is the best. I think the best moment as a football player is after winning a match, the atmosphere with your teammates, and they have to celebrate, of course.
And another story in the week was about Bukayo Saka and possibly a new contract. I just wondered if you'd started talks with him and how hopeful you are.
Well, we are extremely happy with Bukayo, the progression he's having, what he's bringing to the club, what he's bringing to the team, and obviously we are never going to share any conversation related to private contracts, but that we are really happy with him.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. Ian from TalkSport.
Hi, Mikel, are you well? Big game on Monday. You play last after everybody else. Is that an advantage in terms of this battle for the top four? Because especially with you and Spurs, it's getting very tight.
We're going to focus on what we can do. That's the only thing we can control through the TV. We can suffer or enjoy, but there is not much that we can do. What we have to do is win the football matches that we need to do to achieve what we want, and that's all in our hands.
That Spurs game that you've still got to go and play there hasn't been rescheduled yet. When I last spoke to Antonio Conte, he was quite heated about the fact that he was disappointed the original game was cancelled. Would you rather the game was played sooner or right at the end of the season?
I don't think we're going to have a choice. So whenever the Premier League decides to do that, it will be the right and the only time that we're going to be playing.
Under 21s, Flo Balogun scored 3 goals over the 2 games that they played. And he's obviously on loan at Middlesbrough this year. You're keeping a very close eye on him because obviously it could be that you are looking for strikers for next season with... We don't know what's happening with Nketiah and Lacazette.
I think Flo is doing what he needed to do, and probably we should have done it a little bit earlier. It's always difficult to time when is the best moment to do that, but he's having the right exposure. He's playing a different formation, sometimes a different role under a manager and a club with huge history. And you can see how he's developing. So this is giving us information, and this is going to give us more detail about what's the next best move for him to keep developing, because he has, and we want him to be part of our future.
You always believed in his ability. You were very forceful actually when it was talking about a new contract for him in the fact you wanted to keep him. And I suppose in this meeting he said that under 23 football was not really doing it for him, and men's football, he's learning so much now playing men's football with Middlesbrough.
The step is too big from what he was doing to the Premier League, and you could see that it's not fair on him to assess just in certain moments whether he can do it or not. So he needed that pathway, he needs that exposure, he needs to go through good and difficult moments, he needs to be able to adapt and find himself in a dressing room and develop the importance that he's going to be required to play at this level. And I think he's doing all of that really well.
A couple of final ones from me. We saw this week with England, Harry Maguire was booed by a certain section of the England fans. And it's happened before at Arsenal with Granit Xhaka. I think Emmanuel Boué suffered booing as well. It's not happening right now, but in terms of supporters, should they always get behind their team, or do you think it's acceptable sometimes if they want to show their displeasure with the player?
Obviously, they have the freedom to express what they want, but if you ask anybody related to football how you're going to get the best out of a player, obviously, is totally against any odd that the player is going to improve if he gets put. That's, I think, something that we would all agree. So if you want the best for your team, the best for the national team, obviously that's not going to help the player individually, which is not going to help the team collectively.
And final one, a more light-hearted one. World Cup draws tomorrow. Your eye more on Spain or more on England?
I'm very Spanish, you know that, but obviously the gratitude and the feelings I have for England is very close. So I'm always cheering for the England team, and as well because we have a lot of players there.
We'll go to Mark from PA.
Hi, Mikel. You mentioned there about England players. Bukayo obviously didn't play in those games. Now that he's fit and he's recovered from his COVID, are you almost pleased that he's had a break rather than playing in those 2 games? Could that be good for Arsenal going forward?
I don't know how much he would have played. Sometimes when a player is in a good moment, you don't want to stop it. It's what it is. He had COVID. We had to take him out of the national team. He has some time to rest and recover, and he will be training the next few days to again hit the form that he was in.
Steven Gerrard said after the Villa win that he will learn quickly, as in Bukayo will learn quickly the physicalities of football after Bukayo asked for a bit more protection from the referee. Do you think that's fair to say that he needs to learn that?
I think Bukayo said that he's not going to complain, that he wanted some consistency in the refereeing, and that's all. The only people that a person can protect the player is the referee, because he guides the level of the game, the level of the contact and physicality that is allowed or not allowed in a football match. And I think we have to protect our best players, and that's in hands of the referee, as always.
One player that did play for England during the international break was Ben White. A few of us spoke to him before the fixtures, and he was saying that the togetherness here and the way you play is almost identical to what he gets at England. Is having that togetherness within the squad, how important is that for how well you're doing now this season?
For me, it's crucial because it's the platform and the cement that you can build on. Then obviously you need the players, you need the quality, you need the understanding, you need the club and the supporters to be on board of what you do, to support it, to encourage it, and this is what we try to do. But I'm glad that Ben is enjoying as much as he's enjoying here with the national team. It's a good sign.
Thanks, Mark. Go to James from Haters.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Your old friend and old teammate Santi Cazorla has been linked with a coaching role back at the club. Is there any truth behind that story? And
I haven't discussed anything like that with Santi, but of course, if you ask anybody in this football club or any supporter about Santi, they will probably have a smile on their faces, and I don't know. He's still playing. I don't know what he wants to do, but I'm sure he will be related to football because I know him well.
have you spoken to him recently about any of his football?
Only in text. I spoke with him on my birthday, but we didn't discuss that topic.
And William Saliba got his first full international debut with France this week. Have you spoken to him since he made his debut? And
Not since he made a debut, but obviously we are really aware of what he's doing, how he's developing. He's our player. I think we are really happy with the decision that we made, because again, the exposure and minutes and responsibility and his growth at his age is something that we could not guarantee him this season. And it makes a lot of sense what is happening with him, and we are glad to see him the way he's improving.
Thanks, James. That ends the live section, so we say farewell to everyone on Zoom.